Guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy second recording on this Thursday. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. What do you do when God says it's time to leave? What do you do when, all caps, God says it's time to leave? What do you do when God says it's time to leave? Okay, guys, so I want to piggyback off a conversation I was having with someone. Okay, so you would have to be under a rock or spiritually unconnected or unplugged if you don't realize that God is doing a new thing. God is doing a new thing. Let me just tell you, if you like it or not, if you're comfortable or not, God is doing a new thing. Again, there's a lot of people who they know it, they feel it. It's been confirmed that God is doing a new thing, but it's still that hesitation because you can't see what's on the other side. And I get it. We're all human beings. It's like you want me to jump, but I don't even know what's on the other side. At least if I stay back here, I'm still comfortable. I mean, I know what it is. I'm unhappy. I'm miserable, right? It's a whole toxic environment, but I'm comfortable. I know what to expect. Where you're asking me to take this leap of faith, I don't know what's on the other side. So a lot of people are stuck right there. Again, if I'm honest, that's not. I won't say that I've never experienced that, if you will, but it's just that I don't know. I guess because I know when I hear from God, and even if there's like this tug of war in my spirit, which typically is not. Well, sometimes it could be. Let me take that back. Then it's like I trust God enough to know that if I take the plunge, and if it's not from Him, He will reel my right back on in. God won't allow you to get too far out. And I think a lot of people feel like, well, what if I miss it because it wasn't God? He won't let you get too far out. Trust me, He will shut it down, right? You can be in the whole middle of relocating. He will shut it down. Those people will call you when you're on the road and say, I'm sorry, we made a mistake. You didn't get the job. Or something, right? He will shut it down on you just to reroute you. So most times, I was gonna say all, but definitely not all. A lot of the times, you just won't know. God wouldn't be God if He tell you everything. You just wouldn't know what's on the other side. So God is asking you to leave your career and to take a jump, take a dive with purpose. But you know what your career, I mean, you know it in and out. You know that you got at least a stable check that's coming in every week and it pays the bills and X, Y, and Z. But now God is calling you somewhere and you're in your mind, it's going to take time to really build my clientele. What if it don't work out? All this other stuff, right? God is calling you to leave this toxic relationship, this toxic marriage, right? You don't like the lady. You don't even like the lady. You don't even touch her anymore. You're disgusted by even thinking about touching her, right? You don't even like him. Like, you don't even like I'm not speaking about like, well, you're going to always love people, right? But I mean, there's no desire. You've tried everything in the world. You went to the pastor, you went to the counseling, everything, honey. And it's done. It's just done. You've prayed, you've fasted. You've been on the fast for 25 years. You've been on the fast for 25 years. God keep telling you the same thing. This season is done. But then yet you've been together for 50 years and it's like, this is all you know. It's toxic. I'm miserable, but it's what I know. I know when I come home and turn the keys, I know how my bed feels. I know, like, I don't like him, but he'll take the trash out on time. Right? But now God is telling you to just take a plunge into a healing season, a single season. God is telling you to take a plunge into purpose and calling. Don't worry about no man right now. A man will come if that's ordained, but I need you to focus on purpose. Don't even think about another relationship right now. I just need you to work on purpose. And you're like, who am I going to talk to at night? God is asking you to relocate. I done told you 37 times. And you're just like, well, I'm an introvert. I don't even like people like that, right? Now I gotta go and I gotta like try to get to know more people. Like I don't even like to go to dinner by myself. And now I got to go to a whole nother state, even potentially a country. What if I get there and the people don't like me? What if I get there and, I don't, my tire go out and I don't have anybody to call to fix the tire. Like, you got all these what ifs. And I'm telling you, from my experience, all caps, my experience, the majority, I don't want to say all because I could be missing something just at the moment, but for the majority of the times, and people think I'm insane until they see the manifestation of it. The majority of the times I hear it, I'm going, right? Now there's times, of course, probably a time or two, maybe 2 times, where I kind of drag my feet a little bit, because if I'm honest, I knew I heard from God. I would just kind of like hesitated for other reasons, but I hear it and I jump. I hear it, and maybe every blue moon, early on, I released it to maybe a person or two who I really, was spiritually grounded with, and they couldn't see it. They couldn't see it. And a couple of times they're like, I don't think that, but I got to ride with what I feel in my spirit. I got to ride with, and I get why you don't see it, because it's not in your spirit, right? I get why you don't see it, because you may have thought you heard from God in a similar situation in the past, and it wasn't God, right? But I got to ride with this thing in my spirit. Anything that God is calling you to do, God will make it so clear. It's so profound in your spirit that you can't ignore it. There's just, it haunts you. It won't leave you alone. You'll try to I don't think that was God, honey. God did not want me to relocate, because I just relocated 3 years ago. And he said I would, meet my wife here. And it just keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. Then you start shutting things down on you, and it keeps coming back and coming back, right? He will make it so clear to you. But it's us. It's our needs to want to be comfortable. It's us who just want to be around the familiar that makes us want to stay, or it's hard to leave. But anything that I can think of in my life, and if I'm honest, I heard it and I jumped. Where's my parachute? Because I'm gone. And each time, let's be honest and transparent here. Everything just didn't go from a jump to manifestation. Some things went from a jump to falling in mud. Right? But whatever, we're muddy, but we're going to keep moving, right? And that mud can look like delays, frustration, fear, and so on. Where some jumps went from jump to full manifestation. But you don't know until you jump. But even if you jump into the mud, God is going to be there with you. And really, that mud is really just all it's doing is it's transforming you. It's strengthening you, because God knows where he's taking you. So you're in that mud, but that mud looks like the wilderness, right? That mud looks like pruning of things, people, all that mindsets. So you're in the mud, but you have to water on that mud, and then boom, he takes you into the season in which you're going to. So even once, you heard from God, and it's like, you know what, I can't even deny it anymore. He drawed everything up. He made this man leave me, right? The job fired me. I've been the most faithful. I mean, I don't have a choice. I got to go. Now, what's going to happen when it's time to go? When it's time to go, everybody and their mama going to just love on you, and you're the best thing since sliced bread. Child, every relationship that was toxic, now all of a sudden, they want to show and prove, right? That's just the enemy, right? That person who would never, ever even discuss going to counseling. Now all of a sudden, well, let's make it work. Let's go to counseling. Let's do this, do that. But you heard from God. You heard from God, but now it's the struggle in the flesh, because it's like, Lord, I know I heard from God. I thought this relationship or this marriage was completely over. Now all of a sudden he's now saying he want to work on things and he's going to do better. Honey, he's been saying that for 37 years. He was saying that for 37 years. Now all of a sudden that he sees, that your feet are moving now, he's going to get it together. And granted, sometimes that's what it takes for people to get together. But the difference this time is you've heard from God. It's time to go. It's time to bounce. If you didn't hear from God, then you could potentially stick around just to see if this nut is going to, after the 147th time, if he's not going to cheat this time. But you heard from God this time. Who are you going to be obedient to? Her, him, them, or to what God has said to you? Some things in this season, something in particular is coming up in my own mind, in my own personal life, that it's so done. It's so done. And if you're honest, you know it's done, but it's just like, you will not see the full manifestation of where God is taking you. But I'll tell you this, it's something that God has promised you. It's something that you've been praying for. And if it's in alignment with God, it's time. The issue is we want to go from one season to the next, but by seeing the new season already in its entirety, it doesn't happen like that. You will never get to your new season like that. You literally have to jump. Afraid, confused, just uncomfortable. You have to jump. So again, for a lot of people, the ultimate decision is going to be based on who are you going to be obedient to. Because if you're going to disobey God for a woman, for a man, for a job, and you're literally disobeying God for what he's calling you from, you think God's going to stay in that? So you mess around and God checked that door and you stuck with this child of God. Kairos seasons don't just linger forever. When you feel a season where there's a Kairos, let me just tell you guys, I'm in a Kairos season. I used to hear people talk about Kairos season. And I'm telling you, the thing is, not anymore at the beginning. It's low-key scary. You can speak it, boom, it appears. Everything you touch turns to gold. If I say it, if I've heard God said it to me, in prior seasons or whatever, if God said it's mine, it's mine. And you're seeing it manifest right before your eyes. And it's almost like, what is this? Like, wait a minute. What is this? What kind of power is this? What is this? It's low-key scary because you say you want things, you say you believe God, you say you da-da-da-da-da, but when it really starts to happen, it's like, Lord Jesus. But with these Kairos moments, right, not only do you speak things and things appear, right? And this can look like physical things. It's to the point where if I speak something physically, if I want it, I might just, okay, for example, you guys know about the wicker chairs, right? I was on the hunt for 2 wicker chairs for my front porch. I have 6. I don't even know what to do with 2 of them. I have 6. I couldn't find them for probably 4 or 5 months. And then the Holy Spirit said, what did you ask for? When I spoke it, the wicker chair started popping up out of everywhere. What are you doing? Somebody tried to give me wicker chairs too. I already had 2. It's insane. But not only are you speaking and seeing things, God is giving you clear, all caps, clear revelation witty ideas and inventions that's going to make you a millionaire, that's going to literally accelerate you financially in the next seasons that's coming. He's giving it to you. But the key with the enemy is, again, what is he doing? He's keeping you distracted. All of a sudden, when people want to change and do the right thing, and should I go or should I not go? What's going to happen if I get a flat tire? All these different stuff pinging in your mind. You can't even hear the downloads if you wanted to. So God is really trying to separate you, right? Because once you jump, you're going to have peace. Once you jump, it's going to be quiet. Once you jump, you're going to be in such solitude, even if you like it or not, right? Because I mean, if you're not used to solitude, you're not going to like it until you get to experience it, and then you realize how wonderful it is, right? But he can't give you those. What? If God wanted to give you a witty idea and invention right now that's going to make you a millionaire in the next season, why would he give it to you now when you're still in the toxic environment with the toxic person? You mess around, you tell the person, and not, right? No, he got to get you in certain environments first. He has to also, because one thing too, like you guys who like to talk, right? That's not my thing, but like you like my thing, but you guys like to talk and just out of excitement or just whatever. God is really, really, really going to prune your mouth. Some of y'all think that you're going through, well, some of you are going through the fire with your mouth in your, I've been through it. I still slip, but honey, let me just tell you, woo, completely different now, right? I'll just ignore you first. But so some of you are going through the fire to discipline your mouth and discipline your flesh in your ability to just react versus respond, because he is preparing you for marriage and things like that. But some of you are also getting going through that fire. You see, God is really, really convicting you and putting you in environments where it's teaching you to be quiet. It's too, because before God starts to give you witty ideas and invention, he has to really, really discipline your mouth, because he's going to tell you certain things that you can't tell one person. Not one, unless he gives you the revelation to, but not one. And these things are going to be things that's going to really, never mind. He's really conditioning you there too because of that. So if that's the case, he's surely going to give it to you when you're around the wrong people in the wrong environments and the wrong things, because they can't be a part of that. At least not in this season, until whatever he does with it. But I wanted to share that because I know it's not easy. Again, it's not that it's easy for me. It's just that I have a track record with God, and there's so many things that I can't even explain in a logical sense because it's not logical. The things that when I heard God, I jumped afraid, I jumped this, I jumped not knowing, and to see certain things fully manifested, I have a track record with God. So when God tells me to jump, I'm going. God says, open your mouth. Come here, sir. I got a word for you. If God says do this, I'm not worried about how much I got to pay. It's God's money. I'm going to do it. If God tells you to do something, you have to do it. Afraid and all. I wanted to share that. You guys have a great one. Girl, Kizzy.